Evening leans on quiet corners, light dissolves in shades of gold. Coffee breathes in velvet spirals, soft and slow, a story told. She is moving without hurry, every gesture finely sealed. Not a task but something sacred, a hidden calm the hands reveal. Silk and simple tone surrounds her, grace without a need to prove. There's a beauty shaped in stillness, in the way she lets things move. In this evening breeze mood we fall, where the world feels far away. In the sway of tender melodies, time forgets to drift or stay. Let it settle on your senses, like a whisper passing through. In the hush of quiet rhythms, there's a softer point of view. Piano glows in dim reflection, saxophone exhales the night. Every note a fleeting shimmer, fading into amber light. By her side a gentle presence, curled in clouds of weightless white, breathing warmth into the silence, balancing the edge of night. Faded walls hold quiet memory, aged in tones both warm and true, where the past becomes a feeling, brushed in calm and tinted blue. When she lifts the cup in stillness, drawing in its fragrant air, there's a pause the world can't enter, only peace is there. This evening breeze mood we fall, where the world feels far away. In the sway of tender melodies, time forgets to drift or stay. Let it settle on your senses, like a whisper passing through. In the hush of quiet rhythms, there's a softer point of view. Where the quiet shadows move, in the evening's gentle groove. Amber settles softly on a quiet frame of glass. Dust motes drift like seconds that forgot to pass. A roasted bloom of coffee stains the waiting air. She lingers in the stillness like a whispered prayer. Her shadow folds in gold along the wooden Her silence bends itself into a lucid dream. Outside, the city murmurs in a distant sway, but here it feels so far away. In her soft ritual, she disappears, stirring quiet stories through the years. Every sip of page she turns alone. In a fragile world she's gently grown. Golden traces linger in the air she keeps, where memory folds into something deep. In the hush between each drifting sound, she lets her heart slow down. A white cat curls where the light runs thin, blinking slow like it understands her skin. No need for words in this tender space, only breathing time at its quiet pace. The studio hums with a velvet tone, a sacred calm she calls her own. At every corner holds a softened hue of something lost, yet somehow true. In her soft ritual, she disappears, stirring quiet stories through the years. Every sip of page she turns alone. In a fragile world she's gently grown. Golden traces linger in the air she keeps, where memory folds into something deep. In the hush between each drifting sound, she lets her heart slow down. If she stays where the light falls thin, she won't need to begin again. In this pause, in this tender drift, she finds her quiet gift. Drifting slow where the warm winds go. Noble still. Drifting slow where the warm winds go. Noble still. China rim in a softened glow carries echoes from long ago. Amber circles a quiet art, tracing time on a steady heart. Morning lingers in muted light, wrapped in tones of cream and white. She moves gently as if to keep every second from falling asleep. Classic up nostalgia, slow and sweet, where the past and the present meet. In a sip, in a sigh, in a drifting hue, there's a tender world we wander through. Let it stay like a fading tune underneath a quiet afternoon. In this calm, nothing feels too far. We just are where the soft notes are. Steam ascends like a whispered name, carving shapes no two the same. Simple grace in a careful hold, more than stories the hands have told. By her side, in a silver white dream, sleeps a hush and a gentle gleam, purring low to the bassline's flow, keeping rhythm the heart can know. Warm machines with a velvet sigh hold the years that refuse goodbye. She inhales, lets the stillness stay as the world slowly fades away. Classic up nostalgia, slow and sweet, where the past and the present meet. In a sip, in a sigh, in a drifting hue, there's a tender world we wander through. Let it stay like a fading tune underneath the quiet afternoon. In this calm, nothing feels too far. We just are where the soft notes are. Drifting near, golden echoes disappear. One last sigh from the saxophone, and the silence feels like home. Breathless saxophone lingers like a half-remembered name. Piano glowing softly beneath, warm as paper aged in time. Amber daylight settles on the wooden grain. Dust motes drift in a slow suspended frame. A roasted bloom curls from your porcelain cup, like ink that once was bold, now soft enough. A faded letter resting by your sleeve, edges worn like things you still believe. Outside the city rushes undefined, but here the hours loosen unconfined. Upright bass hums low and tender brush drums trace a hush through air. Every sip a line you trace through a quiet hidden place, where the past is warm, not gone, just rewritten, soft and drawn. Slow ritual gently kept in the silence where you've stepped, like a letter never sent, still alive in what it meant. Your cat curls close by the window's side, watching shadows slowly passing by. A flick of tail, a softened gaze, as if it knows your inward haze. The room is filled with subtle hues, earthen petals in muted blues. No sound but breath and porcelain tone, a little world that's all your own. Nylon guitar speaks in golden threads. Saxophone answers tender and unsaid. Every sip a page reread of the gentle life you've led in your cup. stray. Slow rituals, soft and deep, memories you choose to keep, like a letter worn but true, still unfolding inside you. Don't let go of the quiet you now know. No need to say what the silence gave away. Just this glow, soft and low. Piano fades like ink in rain, her voice barely there, like breath on glass. A final saxophone note stretches and disappears. Breathless saxophone drifts like warm air through lace curtains. Soft piano pressing ivory light beneath it. Amber morning spills along the windowsill. Dust motes dancing in a quiet kind of thrill. A roasted bloom curls slowly in the air, like memories folded into somewhere. Your teacup hums against your gentle hold, ceramic warmth against your fingers cold. Outside the city stirs in hurried tones, but here the hours soften into home. Upright bass, deep and patient. Brushed drums like a whisper on linen. Slow, steep, let the moment stay. Sip by sip, it drifts away. In this hush, the world feels small. Just you, your thoughts, and nothing at all. Soft heat rising in gallop of calm. Time dissolves in your open palm. Every taste a page you keep written slow. In a quiet steep, your cat curls close in a velvet sigh. Half-closed eyes like a painted sky. Tail flick tracing the rhythm low of a life that moves in undertow. No need for words in this tender space, just kettle songs and your breathing pace. A studio built of stillness and light, where even silence feels just right. Nylon guitar answers the saxophone softly, a conversation in golden tones. Slow, steep, let the hours bend, where quiet corners never end. In your cup, the skyline sleeps, melting down to something deep. Soft heat rising a secret hymn. The world grows faint around the rim. Every sip a thread you weave in a life you don't need to leave. Stay where the light turns thin as air. No past, no rush, just the hush Just the hush, it's just the hush, a fragile piece you barely hold, but it glows like shades of gold.
Piano fading like footsteps in dusk, her voice a breath between notes, one last saxophone sigh, stretching into silence.
Dust motes drift through a waking dream, a roasted bloom in tender release unfolds into a borrowed piece. Porcelain warms beneath her hold, steam threads rise in lines of gold. In this hush the hours bend, like something time won't try to end. In a nylon hum she softly stays, where the quiet sways in amber haze. Every sip turns a hidden key to a slower kind of memory. In the middle of a restless flow, there's a place only still hearts know, where the world grows thin and numb. She breathes in a nylon hum, a gentle cat in a pool of light, curled in warmth untouched by time. Small breaths rise then fall away like a song with nothing to say. Dried flowers bow in earthen tones, vintage jars hold softened zones, and the scent of roasted air feels like something always there. She softly stays, where the quiet sways in amber haze. Every sip turns a hidden key to a slower kind of memory. In the middle of a restless flow, there's a place only still hearts know, where the world grows thin and numb. She breathes in a nylon hum. If she lingers in this tone, she is never quite alone. In this hush where days feel numb, she becomes the hum. Where the soft winds go, let it flow. Amber hush on a half-lit room, Dust motes drift in a quiet bloom. Roasted notes in the air unfold, a tender warmth restrained and old. A porcelain circle warms my hands. Time loosens all its careful plans. Each piano tone falls soft and low, like something only stillness knows. A bright bass traces a velvet line. Brush drums breathe and soften time. Soft cadence carry me through, where every silence feels like truth. A quiet rhythm, slow and wide, pulling gently from inside. In this ritual, calm and deep, there's a hush I get to keep. Every note a fragile thread, weaving where my thoughts have fled. A Persian cat in pale repose folds into dreams no one else knows. Its steady breath, a subtle guide to where the restless parts subside. Walls where time in muted grace, old echoes settle into place. The saxophone bends light and air, touching corners left laid bare. Nylon guitar speaks in softened lines. Saxophone answer intertwined. Each phrase dissolves without a seam. Soft cadence, don't let it fade. This gentle space, the quiet made, where every pause becomes a song and nothing feels too right or wrong. A drifting pulse, a steady glow, moving where I don't need to know. In this flow of sound and air, I lose the weight I used to wear. Stay close where the tempo bends, where every silence slowly mends. No need for answers, none to chase, just resting in this softened space. Each breath becomes a quiet guide, no past to hold, no need to hide, only this calm, thin as lace, moving in a soft cadence. Piano flickers, then drifts away. Soft humming, barely touching air. A final sax note, long dissolving. Amber settles in a muted glaze. Dust motes drift in a woven haze. A roasted bloom begins to rise like a thought that gently sighs. Oatmeal light on the table warm, soft as the hush of an early morn. Steam curls slow in quiet flow, tracing shapes she doesn't know. In an oatmeal glow she fades inside, where the world grows soft and undefined. Every sip right slow and low, little lines in a tender flow. In the middle of the passing stream, she finds a pause within a dream, where nothing pulls, nothing asks to know. She rests in oatmeal glow. A quiet cat in a pale sunbeam, curled within the drifting dream. Tiny breaths in a gentle rise, like a lullaby without a size. Dried flowers lean in earthen hue, vintage jars hold shades of you, and the scent of roasted air feels like something always there. She fades inside, where the world grows soft and undefined. Every sip right slow and low, little lines in a tender flow. In the middle of the passing stream, she finds a pause within a dream, where nothing pulls, nothing asks to know. She rests in oatmeal glow. If she lingers in this light, there's no wrong